Hi everyone, I'm Pat Prokop out in the heavenly backyard garden. You know, it's been a while since I did an astronomy video. I've been so busy working the Weather Channel side of my YouTube features, and a lot of wild and crazy weather out here in the heavenly backyard garden. Just an example, last week, 5 days ago, I had 125 millimeters of rain. That's about 5 inches of rain, and that came down in less than 24 hours. Anyway, I had a lot of weather videos out there, but I've also had some clear nights, and between the weather, I did open up the telescope, the Orion Eon 130 millimeter triplet refractor, and with that I got a new camera, the Poseidon monochrome camera. It's the Player One Poseidon monochrome camera, the professional pro, and with that I also bought new Antlia narrowband filters, the 4.5 nanometer filters for the telescope, and the combination of the two is over here with this filter wheel. And one of the projects I've been doing is comparing RGB and a narrowband on the same target on the same night. So I've been using the Antlia filters for the narrowband and the Batter filters for the RGB or the broadband. And I did a comparison on two things. I did the comparison on the Monkey Head Nebula and also on the Rosette Nebula, both prominent up in the sky this time of the year. And this is the first day of winter, and we have those super long nights right now, trying to take advantage of those long nights and the cooler weather. I want to show you how I set things up in N.I.N.A to capture these images. And using the advanced sequencer now makes it very easy to set this system up. So let's go upstairs and go into the computer and see how I set things up in N.I.N.A and then processing the images in Pixinsight. All right, here I am in N.I.N.A and I'm selecting the Monkey Head Nebula, and there is the position. The nebula is just above the horizon now, and it's going to be up all night long. So I'm going to go for Set for Framing Assistant, and from there it brings up the view that it's going to be seen from my system right now with the camera settings. And then I'm going to go over here to Add Target to Sequence, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to Sequencer, and then from there I'm going into a preset sequence that I made called Pat's Narrowband Main, and just going to click on that and leave it alone by itself. It loads up everything automatically. I have everything set up in the sequence here for a narrowband image, and actually I could use it for broadband as well, but I call it narrowband. And there's the target right there, and then the system will start looking for the triggers. It's going to keep an eye on the system throughout the night. If it drifts off target, it will put it back onto target for some reason. Say a patch of clouds comes by and you lose tracking, and then the sky clears back up and perhaps the target has moved out of the center field of view. And then I'm going to run the autofocus. I'm going to slew and center the scope into the target, and then I'm going to start guiding. And then I'm going to have it watch for the meridian flip, which is going to be right here. And then it'll do it automatically. Keep an eye on the focus. If it gets out of focus, let it do another autofocus. Focus also autofocus after each filter change, and then a dither after the exposures, 3. I'm going to after every 3 exposures, and then restore guiding once again after the dithering. And then I'm going to loop conditions. I'm going to loop until astronomical dawn. Since it's going to be up all night long, I can go through all the entire night, and when it gets to dawn, I'm going to say, that's it, sky's getting too bright, stop. And here are the targets right here. I have the system set up for, in this case, it's going to be hydrogen alpha. Let's put that in there. And then oxygen, let's do sulfur 2 because the moon is still up. And then oxygen 3 come last after the moon gets a little bit further out of the way. And then I can also add, just by right-clicking onto here, let's try it here. Just click on this right here. Either way, I'm going to copy this line here, and I'm going to go into the red filter, and then I'm going to change the timing from 12 images at 300 seconds. That's 1 hour. So here I'm going to do 30 images at 120 seconds. Since it's broadband, a lot more light, I don't need such a long exposure. And then I'm going to copy that again. There it is. All right. And change that to the green. And they're going to copy that again. And the blue. Right there. So now I have hydrogen alpha, sulfur 2, and oxygen 3 all at 300 seconds each. And I'm going to loop through that at 12 images, 12 images, 12 images. That's 3 hours right there. And then 30 images at 120 seconds for the red, green, and blue. And that's going to give me another 3 hours. But I'm going to have about 9 hours a night, at least 8 hours. So when this is finished, it's going to continue looping until dawn. So it's just going to go right back to the top and do it again until dawn. So perhaps take another 12 images of the hydrogen alpha, maybe get into the sulfur 2 before the astronomical dawn starts. So I'm ready to go. Not quite though. Let's do over here into the templates. I built a Pat's End menu and Pat's Start menu. And let's go to the top here. I'm going to put the Start menu right over here and just going to drag it into this sequence start area. All right, and just drop it. This will unpark the telescope. It's going to cool the camera down to its preferred temperature. It's going to turn the dew heater on, and in the it's going to start a thing called robocopy. And the robocopy is going to copy the images as they come in to a remote directory that's connected to my inside computer. That'll be done automatically, so I don't have to worry about transferring from this computer into the main computer tomorrow morning. It'll be all done automatically. All right, now going down to the end, down in this area, sequence end area, I'm going to go into what I have here is called Pat's End menu. I'm going to just drag it over and drop it right into here. And there it's going to be robocopy stop. I'm going to wait for 120 seconds before it stops because it might be still transferring some files and all that. I want to make sure every file is transferred. And then it's going to warm the camera, and then it's going to park the scope, and then it's going to say goodnight. Here I'm running the program now. I'm getting ready to see the first hydrogen alpha image for the night. And the moon is about 65% illuminated, but here's the first image coming in right now. Wow, isn't that? Look how clean that is. That's really good. Those Antlia filters that I'm using on this Poseidon camera, I'm using no calibration frames on this camera. Wait until you see the images coming in Pixinsight. So speaking of Pixinsight, let's go over to Pixinsight. I have 11 steps that I follow in processing my images in Pixinsight from the beginning to the end. So let's take a look at that. All right, the first thing I do is I go into GraXpert, or some call it GraXpert, and load in the images to be smooth and gradient removal. And let's do the H alpha first of all from the Monkey Head Nebula, and it's bringing in the image right there. That's the H alpha image that I received. There's a little bit of a gradient in here. I did not take any flats, and it did not take any dark frames or no calibration frames whatsoever. This is the actual Poseidon camera, the Player One Poseidon camera, the actual view from it. So let's and the stacked images. So let's calculate the background first of all, and using the AI artificial intelligence set for this program, and it does a wonderful job in removing gradients. There wasn't that much of a gradient, as you can see, but anyway, the next process I do is I save this. There's the original, and there's the process, and I save this as a XIS file so it can go straight into Pixinsight, and I've done this already for all the files. So next thing I want to do is leave that and go into Pixinsight. And here I loaded in those GraXpert files that I just smoothed out. And let's open them up. And here we have it in Pixinsight. And looking at the image. That's what it looks like when it comes into the system here. This is the blue image from the blue filter, and you can see the blue is a little bit different than the other ones there. The RGB is a broadband versus narrowband. Notice how bloated the stars are looking at the moment. All right, next one is the green filter. Let's stretch that out, and there you can see once again, not quite as bloated as the blue. The blue really bloats up the stars. And let's go look at the red right here. And the red, let's stretch that. And there you can see quite a bit of the red in the monkey head. Now remember, the moon was about 65% full last night, illuminated, and it was very bright. And also had some very high thin clouds floating overhead. Here's the H alpha that was just smoothed out in GraXpert, and there it is right there. And then the O3, which is sensitive to the blue light. You can see a lot of blue in that. Notice the difference between that blue and the broadband blue. You can see the difference. The stars are much bloated here, or bigger, and versus almost pinpoints on the oxygen 3. This is the Antlia filters for the broadband, for the narrowband. And let's take a look at the sulfur 2. And again, the Antlia filter. Look, that's a beautiful picture right there. And everything has been smoothed out with Gradient Expert. And okay, the next step. On the 11 steps that I use to process my files anyway, from monochrome into color, the next thing we got to do is star aligned. So let's do that. And let's base it on the hydrogen alpha image. All right, so we'll pick on that one right there. And right here, hydrogen alpha, where are you? All right, we'll use that as the base image. Now let's add the other images. And we got the blue, the green, there's the HA, the oxygen 3, the RGB red, and the narrowband sulfur 2. Okay, and now let's just align all these stars, our images, with the stars themselves. All right, this is going to take a little bit of time, not much, but I'll come back to when it's all finished. All right, everything's aligned, and let's delete the files that we don't need any longer. I don't need any of these except the HA. So let's pull the HA out of here, and let's just hold down the shift key at each one. Just hold down the shift key in Pixinsight and click out all of them, and then you can just delete them all. Delete all selected, right? Okay, now these are the registered values now, so let's just rename them real quickly. And well, I tell you what, let's do it this way. Let's just minimize them once again right here, and then we'll put them into their respective categories. Now, renaming these, I can just click on this right here, and it renames it right real quickly. I can just take off the registered, just hit that and delete. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is linear fit. I'm going to pick on the hydrogen alpha, and I'm going to fit all the other ones to this level here. And so open up linear fit. It's in the process, all process, and what have you, but I have it over here as a right here, linear fit, and pick on the image I want everything fit to. It's going to be the hydrogen alpha right there. Say OK, and I can minimize this now again, and let's open up these guys here. Let's do that one and just drop it into this. This is the sulfur 2. It takes a little bit of time, not much, just a little bit, about 10 seconds per image, maybe 15 seconds. Okay, there it is. And then just hit the auto stretch right here. There it is. All right. All right, there's the blue. And the blue traditionally has those bigger bloated stars. That's typically blue. All right. Now the next step I go is through, well, curves transformation. Let's just make sure everything is right here. Let's go to the hydrogen alpha here. And let's go into our curves. Let's just open up a preview. Let's just bring it down just a little bit, right? About that looks good right there. Okay, I'm happy with that. Say OK. All right, close the preview. Let's do the same thing for the Sulfur 2. All I have to do is hit execute. So they're all literally fit. All right. They're all about the same black levels and white levels. Pretty close anyway. Now the next thing I do, combine the images together, channel combination. All right, so let's do that because I'm still in the linear mode. Okay, let's just exit out of that. And let's go into the RGB combination. Let's just pick on the first one. Let's go with SHO. Let's do the RGB first. So let's go red. Okay. We want green. Okay. And we want blue. Blue. Big fat stars in blue. Okay. All right. Execute. There's my image. Let's stretch it. See what we got. Not too bad. Remember, the moon was about 65% illuminated last night, and not that far away, about 45-degree angle away from this nebula, the Monkey Head Nebula. But already it's looking pretty good. You can see the yellow star there, and got a couple green bluish stars over here. And of course, you got the red nebulosity here. All right. I'm going to do the same thing for the other models. All right, so we got sulfur, hydrogen, and oxygen. All right, let's do it. Okay, let's stretch it. It's going to be heavy on the green now. Not too bad. We're going to play with this a little bit later. I want to do a HOO. Okay, and execute. And there's the HOO, which looks more like the regular RGB minus the green. So we'll do that. And the next thing I want to do, I said it was like the RGB minus the green. So let's put in the green. Let's just try it. Let's mix a broadband with a narrowband and see what happens here. Green, okay. And I might have to normalize it, but let's see. Apply. Yeah, it's heavy on the green. All right, but I'll get the green out in just a minute. All right. All right, the next step I got to do is go into BlurXTerminator. So let's take the SHO and notice the stars. I'm going to zoom in on this for just a minute here. Let's look at the edges came out pretty good. This is a bad example because I had a good picture last night. A lot of times on the edges, the stars are bloated or egg-shaped or so forth or stretched out due to the optics. But doggone it, the optics were really good last night on this telescope, the Orion Eon. Anyway, let's go to BlurXTerminator. And this is the new version 4 now. Well, actually version 2, AI version 4. And just do this. It will reduce the size of the stars, that's for certain. It doesn't take that long. I have the CUDA set up on my system. I have a graphics card on this computer. It's a Windows 10 computer at the moment. There it goes. Same thing for StarXTerminator and NoiseXTerminator. It will zip right on through now that it's set up. Now watch the stars. See? All right. Well, here's an example of the BlurX version 4 here. And this is from the other night of the Rosette Nebula. This is the green filter, and you can see the stars on the edge here are really stretched out. But after BlurXTerminator, look what happens. Bam! Oh my gosh, they're so round. Look at how clean that thing is. Yeah, if you got BlurXTerminator already, the download is free to upgrade to version 4. So it's well worth it. Again, look at the difference between A and B. Wow. I don't know how it does it, but it does it, and I'm very glad that it does. Let's do the RGB. Let's do the same thing here. Now notice these stars are definitely bloated. And let's, again, let's see the other side. Maybe the other side is... No, they're all good, aren't they? Oh, well, anyway, let's do StarXterminator, or BlurXTerminator on this one right now. And it's going to really knock down the blue stars. That's going to help a lot. You want to run this before you stretch, before you transfer the image from linear to nonlinear state. Watch the stars. Yep. Nice. Okay. Let's just bring this back out. Okay. Already looking decent. We'll get it looking even better. Let's go back to this over green image here. Let's see if we just do an automatic background extraction, if it'll pull out the green. I think it will. Just taking the default values. And then stretch it again. Yeah, still heavy on the green, but we'll get that out later. All right. Now, the next step is to go from linear to non-linear. Histogram transformation. All righty. So let's go into here. Now, this is how I do it. Let's go into the SHO. Yeah, let's bring this over here. Bring this over here. And I just simply take the screen transfer function and drop it over into the histogram transformation, and then hit execute. It'll turn white. Then I hit this square over here on the upper right, and now it's, you notice the green line has disappeared. See, I got this green line here that says it's linear. When you transfer it, histogram transformation, it turns into that. Okay, the green line goes away. It shows you that it's no longer linear. Now, the next step, we want to go into the remove the stars. So let's go with the RGB right here. And let's go into StarXTerminator. I'm just going to pull it over and drop it into that. I can do it that way, or I can do it the other way. Again, I got the CUDA working on this computer, and I got the NVIDIA graphics card on here, so it works very well. As you can see, it's zipping right along, processing with the StarXtermination. Done. Okay. All right, I'm going to hold on to these stars. Put them over here for now. And I'm going to take this image here. And I got some dust bunnies in there, don't I? What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a clone of this. Just clone it. And then this one I'm just going to revert back to where it was. Just so we'll have a before and after. All right? All right, we'll put that back. Now let's work on this image over here. And this is the image I want to work on. So the next thing I'm going to do is go into the curves transformation, as I just belched. Let's go into the curve transformation here. Open up a preview. Let's just darken it up just a little bit on the base and a little bit on the top. Okay, that's good enough for now. All right. All right, let's just close this down for now. Bring this over here. I'm going to bring this down out of the way. Now the next thing I want to do is to create a mask. And This is an RGB image, and most of this is red. I tell you what, let's just do it using the scripts. So go into scripts. If you haven't already downed this program, it's well worth it. Go into utilities and then color mask mod. And these are the scripts that are available through Pixinsight. You have to download them, then execute them into your Pixinsight. Very easy, follow the instructions. Anyway, let's just use the red right here. I want to mask the red colors, but I'm going to extend the mask a little bit. I'm going to go into the yellow, just a bit into the yellow, and then a bit more into the magenta. Right about there. I'm going to create a mask, and I have this set at lightness mask, 1.0 mask strength, and I'm using 5 layers to remove. Okay, and that will give me a nice smooth mask of the reddish color that I'm looking for here. All the rest should be masked out. There's the mask I'm going to use. There's the final mask smoothed out. And I'm just going to take this and pull it over and drop it into here. Now, I'm going to minimize this. Don't delete it, because that'll remove your mask. Just put it over here somewhere out of the way. And then go up to mask. I'm looking through the microphone. Looking through the mask, and just show mask will turn it off. Okay, but it's there. Now, go into curves and transformation and go into preview. Let's just standardize this. Right now, let's just bring up the nebulosity. And then let's just play with all the different colors in here. First of all, let's go with the saturation. Let's see if we can bring that up somewhat. See how it's bringing it up? Okay, saturation, just bring it up. Kind of like making those S curves. All right, let's go into luminosity. Again, bring it up. I'm going to need to bring up the saturation a little bit more. Okay, let's go back to saturation. You can play with these for a few hours or so if you want, but it's there for you to play with. All right, let's go with the bring up the red. Look at that. Look at all that nebulosity that wasn't seen before. All right, let's see if we S-curve it, make it even better. I don't know. I think that looks even better yet. All right. Yeah, everything looks good there. I'm kind of happy with that. Let's execute it. I'm going to get a preview of the preview. That's a preview of the preview. That's overkill, obviously, but let's just, here's what we have right here. Let's go into color mask, which is in your process, all processes, range selection. That's what it's called, range selection. I renamed it create mask, but it's range selection. It's the same thing. So right there, yeah, range selection. All right. So what I want to do is mask out this portion of the nebulosity. Bring this down here, and about right there. I'm going to smooth it out a little bit and smooth it a little bit more. There's our mask. I can close this now and this. I got the mask. Don't want to delete that. I'm going to pull it and drop it on the side below the title. There. Now it's turned brown, so that means that the mask is in place. And I got the nebulosity masked, but I want to reverse that because I want to work on this area around the nebulosity. So let's go into mask and then invert mask. Go back over here into curves and transformation, or curves transformation. Open up a preview, and let's just go back to RGB. Let's just go back to defaults. And let's see if we can bring down that background, all that noise I had in there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. What do you think? All right, let's just hit execute. And I still see some noise there. I'm going to try one more time. Let's just... Yeah, I think that's going to work pretty good right there. All right. Okay, now I can execute, or I just close that out. Okay, let's destroy the mask. No longer need it. All right, there's our nebulosity without the stars. So the next thing I want to do is before I add the stars back, let's just take a look at it's a little rough in there, don't you think? Well, the NoiseXTerminator will work just fine on this. I'll just bring it into here and drop it. Russell Croman's NoiseXTerminator. These cost a few bucks, but darn well worth it. I tell you what. The RC Astro's NoiseXTerminator, StarXTerminator, and BlurXTerminator are well worth the money. All right, watch the nebulosities. Did you see how smooth it was now? A little subtle. We can maybe do it again here. Before, yeah, see? Before and after. Much better, much better. Okay. All right, now the next thing I want to do is re-add the stars. And there's a process for that. You can go into the scripts. There's a star addition script. But I just like using the pixel math. And I made a icon for the pixel math with the for adding back the stars. So here's the formula that you need to use, and it's in your pixel math description right away. There's the expression, tilde, parentheses, parentheses, tilde, starless image times the tilde stars. Okay, so the starless image in this case is going to be the monkey RGB clone. All right. Okay, and then the stars will be the stars I took out, monkey RGB stars. So I'll just copy this. So it has the title correct. All right. And just say hit the square box, and I should have my stars. And there's the final image. Let's show a before and after. There's the before. There's the after. That's the RGB, and that's with a 65% illuminated moon last night. But just using the RGB filters. So there you have it. That's how I do it. Now I'll do the rest for the with the others as well. There's a little bit of a difference with the narrowband versus the broadband. There is a technique over here called narrowband normalization, which is really nice for using narrowband. And I could show you that right now, but it's very easy to use. I got to tell you, those images, both in RGB and narrowband, are awesome. I like them, and I'm really liking this Poseidon camera, the Player One Poseidon monochrome camera. It's doing a great job, and those Antlia filters, they're amazing. They're simply amazing. And if you'd like to support my channel, please hit the like button. That's always helpful. And if you have any comments, please leave a comment below. Also, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I won't mind at all. Anyway, and if you see any of the products you like, if I have a description below, click on the link. If you would like to purchase them through Agena Astro, that'll be fine and dandy as well. Well, I'm also working on another project with the Pleiades star cluster. You know, the Pleiades is one of the most viewed winter constellations or asterism up in the sky, particularly in the northern hemisphere. And did you know there's a hidden galaxy within the Pleiades, not in the Pleiades, but far beyond the Pleiades? Well, I'm working on that, trying to show that galaxy, and that'll be a forthcoming video, so stay tuned for that. That's coming up shortly. Anyway, I hope you have some clear skies. Enjoy these long winter nights with the hopefully some clear skies and cool temperatures for your astrophotography. And remember, the heavens are filled with majestic wonders. And they're all up in the sky near you. So unless you need rain, or if you want some snow, and who wants snow? Anyway, clear skies, everyone.